NEET issue once again has become the highlight on the first day of the budget session in the Parliament. Leader of opposition Rahul Gandhi launched a spirited attack on the government over the NEET paper leak row and called the NEET row a systematic failure of Indian exam system. He furthermore questioned if Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan understood the fundamentals of the issue and what exactly is he doing to counter the systematic problem. Dharmendra Pradhan strongly reacted to the charge and said there is no proof of a mass paper leak, and also condemned Rahul Gandhi for calling the country's examination system rubbish. Now let's play out the bites.
The honourable member has raised a question regarding question paper leak in last 7 years 70 times. Sir, with full responsibility, I would like to submit in front of House through you, sir. There is no evidence of paper leak in last 7 years in any numbers.
It's obvious to the whole country that there is a very serious problem in our examination system. This is not just a question of NEET, it is in all the major examinations. Now, the minister has blamed everybody except himself, right? I don't even think he understands the fundamentals of what is going on here.
आप प्रश्न क्या है आपका?
आ रहा हूँ सर. सर ये मैं क्वेश्चन को सेटअप कर रहा हूँ.
इसलिए प्रश्न पूछते हैं.
The issue is that there are millions of students in this country who are extremely concerned at what is going on and who are convinced that the Indian examination system is a fraud. That is what is at stake here. Millions of people believe that if you are rich and if you have money, you can buy the Indian examination system. And by the way, and this is the same feeling that the people in the opposition have. And that is why we are asking some very simple questions to Honorable Minister. Number one, as this is a systemic issue, what exactly are you doing to fix this issue at a systemic level?
Yes.
That's the first question.
Let me straight away go to Ajit. I am also being joined by Sanjay Jha, author and political analyst. In studio joins me Brijesh Pandey. Thank you so much, Mr. Jha, for joining me. First question to you, then I'll go to Ajit. Do you think that this has become an albatross around BJP's neck, the NEET issue?
Yeah, I do think, Karthikeya, that somewhere the government seems to be like an ostrich. I couldn't, for the life of me, believe how the minister actually said in Parliament that there has been no paper leak, in which case whatever most of us have been reading in the newspapers is clearly bogus news. Now, unless Indian Express, the Times of India, Hindustan Times and the Hindu are all printing gibberish, and only the minister is right, I think we are all being taken for a jolly ride. The fact of the matter is that there is a serious problem. And I think what Mr. Pradhan seems to be missing, because you see the problem with most BJP ministers is that they are so obsessed with trying to prove their loyalty to the supreme leader that they forget that the actual supreme leaders are the ordinary people of India. And today, I think the demographic dividend story has been destroyed because there are no jobs. But when you have exams that are also getting rigged, that is adding insult to injury. You even have now the UPSC exams where clearly there are a couple of people who have used disability as a pretext to con themselves into becoming IAS trainees. I mean, the world is watching this, not just people in India, but I really worry about what are the future generations of this country going to think when they can't even trust an examination system to be foolproof, to be impartial, to be fair, to be timely, and most important, to be able to deliver what they are fighting for, which is give me marks and let me, thereafter competitively find my way around. This government has to acknowledge there are some serious fault lines in the way the entire testing mechanism is running. And it is good to actually recognize you have a problem, because that's the only way you're going to fix it. I'm just astonished and appalled and aghast as to how Mr. Modi's government continues to be living in a land of illusions.
Do you have this feeling that, with the NEET controversy breaking right, NEET and the terrorism, two issues, the government has doubled down on the hard Hindutva politics, whether it's Kavaria, whether it's the RSS issue, whether it's Hemant Biswa Sarma being, talking about being overrun by the minorities. Suddenly the language has changed.
Karthikeya, I wish BJP the best of luck, because if they haven't learned their lessons, personally, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm a big supporter of the Congress party's ideology, I'll be more than happy if BJP self-destructs. They have got a message from the people of India that communal polarization has a limited shelf life. Mr. Modi made an unambiguous, explicit polarizing campaign as a Prime Minister. He got actually a notice for hate speech. You are, as you rightly mentioned, the UP government's, kind of fiat on people having to display their names, etc., which was basically identity politics. I'm glad the Supreme Court has intervened. And the other stuff that you're talking about, all of these are manifestations of just one simple truth. The BJP and the Sangh Parivar has only one agenda, which is Hindutva. And the moment they get challenged on that turf, they don't know what to do. So they are going back to the standard playbook. But I have a strong feeling, Karthikeya, that the people of India have seen through this tried and tested formula of trying to polarize society. And I think, end of day, when they lose the Ayodhya parliamentary election, they lost the by-election in Badrinath, they have done disastrously in Uttar Pradesh, despite all the hype. If they still haven't learned their lessons, good luck to them.
Ajit, your thoughts? Do you think that the BJP has been able to stem the tide on the NEET issue, or they were completely taken by surprise? The Education Minister was saying one thing in the House and something else was being said in the Supreme Court on the issue of Parcha leak?
I'm actually puzzled that someone as sort of wise as Dharmendra Pradhan, when he said that in the last 7 years there has been no leak, at least he should have added in that in Bihar 13 people were arrested, which included 4 examinees, and Bihar, by the way, is an NDA government right there, right? BJP and Nitish Kumar are in alliance, so he should have mentioned why were they arrested, why were there allegations of 30 to 50 lakhs paid by each of them for the leak. Similarly, in Gujarat, in Godhra, there were similar leaks, right? Again, he should have mentioned, and he could have said that, look, a CBI investigation is going on, police investigation is going on. We haven't come out with any evidence. Instead of saying that, if you just dismiss and say, I have never heard of, NEET leaks or any kind of exam problems in the last 7 years, then obviously it seems as if he's not telling the truth, right? That is the problem, that somehow the BJP leaders, while they talk, they don't give facts either to defend themselves or in an offensive or to attack the opposition. Give facts and then talk in parliament, because the whole world is listening to you. And as you rightly said, the entire NEET issue, you talk to any student anywhere and they will tell you that the NEET exam is a scandal. It's, I'm sitting in Jawaharlal Nehru University while I'm talking to you people. Over here, the PhD entrance exam, the master's entrance exam in JNU, since it was created, used to be handled by professors, and it was a perfect system. Then suddenly, the previous vice chancellor came, who is now the head of the UGC, and what he did is he sort of he used outside organization, whatever the NTA and others, to bring an objective type questions. And what happened, that the JNU didn't have enough money to pay them because they were crores charged. Earlier, professors would never charge anything and do the work. And now the JNU doesn't know. They are trying to come back to the old system. So the entire last 5 or 7 years, while this NTA was handling the JNU entrance for PhD and masters, it seems to be a total scandal. And as a result, the sessions are not starting in time. So when it comes to education, all these top big talk about, bringing about new education policy, bringing about 100 foreign universities to collaborate with us, when you can't even handle an exam system. So then it becomes a joke, right? Students are angry, the country is angry, and then Dharmendra Pradhan, who I thought was, a very, very wise person, is saying that, no, he hasn't heard about it. I think he just did not complete his sentences. He should have mentioned that it's all over, right? The NEET exam scandal is all over the country, reported everywhere. So,
Brijesh, how do you evaluate Rahul's performance?
Well, Rahul's performance was bang on because, if you look at don't go by what Dharmendra Pradhan said in the parliament today. If you look at the start, the genesis of when the NEET scandal broke out, the government's approach was very clear. The government approach was that nothing has happened. And as day after day, new revelations started coming in. The government, which was saying that nothing wrong has happened, will get investigated, nothing wrong has been done. Suddenly we saw NTA Director General being sacked. If there was nothing wrong, then why was the NTA DG sacked? And the biggest part, as Ajit was saying, the most laughable assertion was that in the state of Bihar, which was the only state at that point of time, which was carrying out investigation, clearly pointed to the fact that there was a paper leak, and there were people involved, there were solvers involved, there were medical students who were part of the solvers gang and all. There, the BJP is a partner in the government. And somehow, from Bihar to Delhi, the message didn't reach. The whole world was witnessing it. And, it's like, saying that when you start by defensing or being over-aggressive and feel that, by being over-aggressive or, you will be able to solve the problem. Today, when the Supreme Court, the hearing which went on, now the problem is in Sikar, several this thing, there, Sikar, in Mahendragarh, and then the problem is in, in the state of Gujarat. And the best part is that, like, when it was mentioned to the court that in 2015, in the CPMT examinations, 42 students were found cheating. 42 students, there were paper leak and 42 students had accessed it. 6 lakh students appeared for it and the entire examination was done away with. There was a new examination. My take is that why prejudge the situation? There is an investigation going on. So if there is no paper leak, then what is CBI doing?
Or Sanjay,
and in this day and age of technology, you say that there is a paper leak which happened, 50-60 lakh rupees have exchanged, and a person has a paper leak in his WhatsApp and he's sitting there in Bihar, so he won't be able to send it to some other place.
Sanjay, is it like an old approach? Nothing can go wrong.
Well, Karthikeya, frankly speaking, it's just absolutely amusing, as both the panelists have correctly pointed out. There have been exam leaks, even in the case of the UP government, right? That constable exam, for which there were like 50 lakh people sitting for 60,000 posts. I mean, there is an attempt by the political class to somewhere believe in their hubris and their very inexplicable arrogance that they can just ride roughshod over what is established public facts. I mean, these are things which are in the domain for anybody to see. So I really can't fathom why the BJP believes that they can just hoodwink people by taking a posture in parliament which is different. The reality is something else. And as we can see in the case of Bihar, Gujarat, and several other states where investigations have happened, that there is a palpable attempt to try and actually buy the papers, and these have been leaked. Now, whether the investigations will corroborate that or not, we'll have to wait and see. We don't want to jump the gun. But anybody who's got even an iota or a modicum of reasonableness will admit that there are some serious, I would say, fault lines that need to be corrected. And what is wrong with the government saying, we goofed up, we need to do something about it? People like any political party or a ruling party to say we made a mistake. But according to the BJP, they are absolutely infallible.
If you ask me, I think there is something which has happened after the Lok Sabha results. And I think that is the lack of confidence. That is why the doubling down on the Hindutva vote bank has taken place. That's one. And secondly, if you look at the way the entire NEET crisis has been handled, first there was defiance. Second, there was you are wrong. Third was nothing of that sort has happened. Then came the stage of acceptance. Even now, and then most important of all is somehow not able to reconcile to the fact that the most important issues will be raised by a guy whom they berated for last 10 years as Pappu, and suddenly he's the leader of the opposition. And that is why the sink out is taking place. And I have to say that sometimes the party should realize if a particular brand of politics has run its course. Thank you all of you for joining me, but I leave you with the bite of Akhilesh Yadav.
नीट में जिसको नहीं दिखाई दे रहा वो ना देखे, लेकिन नौजवान, घर परिवार के उनके सदस्य, आप लोग और सब लोग देख रहे हैं। कैसे संभव है कि एक ही जगह पर इतने बच्चे पास हो जाएं, एक ही सेंटर में इतने बच्चों को इतने नंबर आ जाएं? ये कहीं ना कहीं जो प्रश्न लगता है वो सरकार पे लगता है, और कम से कम उस इंस्टीट्यूशन पे उसकी क्रेडिबिलिटी क्या है कि इतनी बड़ी परीक्षा करा रही। और मैं तो आपसे कहना चाहता हूँ कि अगर उत्तर प्रदेश की परीक्षा के पेपर लीक और भारत सरकार के पेपर लीक, तो ये सरकार ने रिकॉर्ड कहीं बनाया हो ना बनाया हो, लेकिन पेपर लीक का रिकॉर्ड।
Who am I?
Nobody can crack that mystery.
There is a certain expectation of me.
That's the only contradiction.
Life itself is stranger than fiction.